just want some insight into something that you may be struggling with, you're very welcome. So the way that I work is I read for the person at the top of my screen. The top of my screen might be different to the top of your screen because I do everything on my phone. And I know some people get upset because they say my name was up higher than the person you picked, but that is literally why. It's because it's different on my phone. Um, don't spam the feed. Don't keep putting your name up over and over again because it's not fair to other people who've come on the live, and I'll just let you kind of scroll on by. What else? Try to be open, stay soft, stay open, because oftentimes a message that is for somebody else might really register with you and resonate with you. Trust then that that's for you. If it resonates with you, it's for you. What else? I write the names down because I forget them when I'm in flow. It's not, there's no list or anything. It is literally if first come first serve kind of thing. That's the way it works. So I'll do Rena first. Rena. Hello to everyone who came on. I love the way YouTube have kind of shrunk down the letters a bit, because before they were kind of all up in front of my face and I couldn't really see your messages properly. So Rena. So we have Hathor soul family. So the thing about the Hathors for me, it's very mother's milk. It's very much that energy of being nourished, being fed by the mother. So there's an energetic there, Rena, where you may be connecting back into that energy. You may be connecting back into your relationship with your mother, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, and some healing happening. But you claiming the healing, you bringing it in, you focusing on nourishing yourself. You're a natural nurturer, but also to bring that nurturing to yourself, if that makes sense. I see Mother Mary, emotional healing. There's definitely something around the mother line there for you, bringing in that heart healing, bringing in that peace, and knowing that you're always held, you're always loved by the Divine Mother, and allowing yourself to be held in that love, if that makes sense, being held in that love and finding balance. So when we're drawn back to the energy of healing the mother line, healing any like pain or whatever that we've experienced there, the important thing is balance. The important thing is to balance with the masculine and feminine energy. So when you withdraw into the watery depths of the feminine, the receptive, the intuitive, it's also important then to go into the masculine energy, to be rejuvenated by the sun, that energy of doing, that energy of being active. So sometimes if you're in the feminine energy, especially if you're healing, it can get what I call like very watery. It can get very, makes sense, love my mother who are abused by her husband, but it can get very watery. It can get very like stagnant. I would often see that when I'm working with clients, stagnant water within them, and then I know that they're stuck in an emotional thing, especially around the mother. So it's important for you to be in that masculine as well, and to take control. You're healing around that energy where your mother is concerned, but also to live your life fully and completely, and not be pulling her pain into your body as well. Does that make sense, Rena? Cosmic Gateway and the number 8, insecurities, connection with others, refocusing. So you need to pull yourself up out of the water. You need to pull yourself back into your own light and be centered and fed, for yourself alone, and not for other people, not so that you are the one giving, you are the one, minding people, taking care of people. That now has to be very much focused in on yourself, giving yourself that love and that healing, okay? Suan would love a card for my career. Okay, close encounters. So if you're asking for a card about your career, there's something that there's something that you I think it's something that you're thinking about doing. I think if it feels like you've come to the end of a certain stage. You've come to an end of what you can actually do or learn in a particular place. And it's time to kind of literally come out the cage a little bit. Um it's time to move on in a way. Now, it's not necessarily that you have to move on from your job or anything, but it feels like you've reached the limit of where you are in this particular moment, that there's something else pulling you forward that you need to move towards, and the call of the muse. So this is the energy of following what lights you up, following what inspires you, or who inspires you. Who is it around you that you feel is like, wow, I'd love to do what they're doing. I'd love to do more of that. And then figure out why you're not doing it. Why are you stopping yourself from moving on or from really flourishing and seeing beyond? Trust your inner visions there. Trust your inner visions. Um trust that knowing that what you're excited about, what the kind of vision that you have for yourself will unfold perfectly. Very oftentimes we hold back on doing things that we want to do because we're comfortable. We're comfortable where we are. We don't like to challenge ourselves. We're afraid of the unknown. But the thing is, that space becomes smaller and smaller, and then we feel compressed because we've stayed there. Whereas if you move on and you move out and you take the risk and you do the thing that you're scared of, you'll find that you naturally take up space in that place. So it might be time to look at your career and see maybe just where you've capped in a certain area and can now move forward to another one. Jamie R. So we have affirmation for positive change. So this is the energy of kind of um, casting off other people's expectations. You know, the dress is on the branch there, and she's going forward very confidently, assertively, knowing who she is and what she brings to the table. So if you're in a kind of an energy, Jamie, where you're playing a part, where you're hiding something that's very real about yourself, where you feel like you can't show yourself fully, or really, really be who you are with the people around you, it might be time to start to think about why you're doing that. Why are you holding yourself back? Why are you playing small? You know what I mean? What identity do you really want to cast off? What is it about the way that people see you that you're like, that doesn't really fit me anymore? That doesn't ring true for me anymore. I wish they'd stop that. What is it that you're doing that's perpetuating that? And water magic. So this is big in the readings this morning. Water magic is about flow. It's about healing, spiritual, mental, and emotional cleansing. What is it you need to purge? What is it you need to let go of? And don't be afraid to do it. And seasonal harvest. So you need to start looking at what you've already achieved. And sometimes when the seasonal harvest or the harvesting cards come up, it's a time for you to take stock. See how well you've done, see how things have gone for you. And even when things are very successful, even when things have gone really well, you may still decide you don't want anything to do with it going forward. You may still decide, I'm done with this, I've learned all I can from this, and now I'm going to move forward, if that makes sense. So there may be something of an identity now that you're shedding, something you're letting go of, but something much better is out ahead of you, okay? Kerry Smith. So for those asking for cards, the way that I work is that I read for the person at the top of my screen. When I'm done with that person, it's the next person up. I write the names down because I forget them when I'm in flow. That's it. So it's the fairest way to do it because I feel everyone gets a chance. Don't spam by putting your name up over and over because I'll just let it scroll by because I don't think it's fair on everybody else. Okay, Kerry, 4 of Cups. So this is the card of being disappointed, being let down. Someone or something has let you down, but you're stuck in that energy. You're stuck in that energy of they let me down, or a dream you had hasn't panned out the way you wanted to. But instead of looking for what was actually good about it not going the way you wanted to go, you're locked into, this is what I wanted and now it's not here. Or this is what I wanted you to do and now you've upset me, now you've disappointed me. And when you stay in that energy, as a vibration, the only thing that can come back to you is more reasons to be disappointed, more reasons to be unhappy, more reasons to feel like you've been overlooked or let down. So as much as possible, decide that, okay, this didn't work out, but something always comes through that was beneficial. You know, you break up with someone and then all of a sudden you have a lot of free time to work on your projects or work on your hobbies or things that make you happy, or you get to spend more time with your friends or whatever. Look for the silver lining. It's always there, and focus on that more than the disappointment. And the star in reverse. The star is all about emotional healing, mother healing, which is coming up very big here in the reading so far. With it being in reverse, there's something you're resisting. There's something in whatever is happening for you right now that you're stubborn about it. You don't want to let go of it. You don't want the healing to kind of flow in. And that's okay. If that's where you are right now, that's absolutely fine. Just know that the longer you stay in that energy, the longer you feed it, the bigger it gets, the more magnetizing kind of power that it has. So just tweak it a little. Just say, if it's about forgiveness, just say, I'm willing to forgive. You don't have to go rushing off and forgiving someone or forgiving yourself. You can just say, I'm willing to forgive. I'm willing to see this differently. If you're very disappointed or very hurt, it can be hard to let go of it. But just by saying, I'm willing to see this differently, you change it. And then victory is ahead of you. Good times ahead of you. Joyful times ahead of you. So it might be tough right now, but when you shift your perspective, even a little bit, things will start to get better for you. Thank you for explaining about law of attraction. Even if our name doesn't get picked, we can trust that the messages said here can all be talking to us in some way. Absolutely. And I always say that at the beginning. How do you pronounce your name? Kahadamu? Kahadamu? I'll write you down there. That's what I always say at the beginning, that just to stay soft and open, because that's how it works. Everybody in here will get something. Apologies if I've misspelled or mispronounced your name there. Okay, 2 of Pentacles. So I'll try it again. Kahadamu. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Something is weighing on you, okay? It may be a decision. It may be something that, it may be something you're contemplating releasing or letting go of. Sometimes that can be around a person. You have history with them, you're kind of invested in them in some way, but they're not doing you any good. They're not a good influence in your life. And there's a struggle with letting that person drop away or letting the closeness drop away. But for me, if anything is weighing on you, if it's weighing on you heavily, then that oftentimes is the decision in itself. if you don't feel comfortable kind of totally cutting that person off, then at the very least limit your exposure to this person. Five of Wands, because it's all argumentative, pinchy, naggy kind of energy. So, you know, just trust how you feel afterwards. In any contact with this person or people, how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel energized? Do you feel happy? Are you laughing? Or do you feel like you need food? You need to lie down? You feel off, kind of grumpy? That's how you can tell if people are feeding you or taking from you. Yeah, you need to withdraw. Four of Swords is about withdrawing, pulling back. You know what I mean? Pulling back and saying, you know what, now I'm going to take stock of this person and see what happens. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to read your name, darling, but that's exactly it. They work for everyone. And Eight of Wands. So things will move very fast for you, Kathmandu. So I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Things will move quickly when you kind of take stock of how this person or this situation is affecting you, and you start to respect yourself. Because as you value yourself, the world values you, mirrors it back. Whatever you're holding inside, the world mirrors it back to you. So if you value yourself, you care about yourself, then that goes out and gets mirrored back. That's how it works. Just I'm starving when I work with people. Oh Lord Jesus, that's not a good sign, Justice. It's not. Just a buddy. Is that your real name, Just, or is it just a buddy? Okay. The Lovers. So there's something, Noreen. So Noreen, there's something there, my love, where someone wants your attention. You know? They want you to look at them. They want you to pay attention to them. And it can feel irritating for you. Thank you so much. Your pronunciation is fine. The name is the first two letters of my full name put together. Okay. It's a cool name. It's you know, it's literally when someone grabs your face. You know, when a small child like grabs your face because they want you to pay attention to them. It's kind of like that. So this person may be trying everything to get you to look at them, to get you to pay attention to them. And there's something about that, the insistence in that feels off, okay? This is about, good. This is about their energy, Noreen. This is about their energy, okay? It's about their need of you, them pulling at you, okay? That's got nothing to do with you. But you have to have firm boundaries in this situation. You have to be the one that says, you know, like, I can go so far and no further with you, no friend. You know, you need to figure this out for yourself. You know, those people that want you to tell them what to do. They want you to tell them, what should I do? And then they'll do whatever you tell them to do. That's not healthy. Okay, so you need to have firm boundaries with this person going forward, because it's a very pull kind of energy and you don't need it. All right, you don't need it. And the star again. So this is a huge energy here this morning. The healing, the mother wound, the pain that we carry when, you know, we don't feel fully loved or seen by our mother or by the women in our lives, and then by ourselves. We don't nurture ourselves. We don't speak kindly inside our own minds. So this is all about self-forgiveness. Everyone who enters my apothecary. There's one in particular, though, Noreen. There's one in particular that, if you haven't seen them already, you will be seeing them. They're demanding. They want you to look at them. They want you to give them your full attention. And Knight of Wands. This is the energy about being in your power, Noreen. The thing about being a healer is that people expect us to be soft and open and angelic all the time, and we're not. And very oftentimes the best healers have a good strong steel to them, because we've had to learn over the years to have that steel. We've had to learn over the years to say, yeah, step off now. You know what I mean? People are often surprised by that side of me. Even I can be very firm. You know, I will love you till the end of time, but if you're overstepping, I can be very firm. Or if I think you're sabotaging yourself, I can be very firm. You know, so you may need to rejig that a bit. You may need to look at where you are giving too much of yourself, and that boundary isn't there. You know what I mean? Gerard, how are you, my love? I'll give you a card there. Okay. Gerard. Okay, Gerard, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Now, the image on the card is pieces of wood with leaves on them. So it's like pieces of wood from a tree, and there's a hammer that's coming from the same tree. Okay, I'll just show it for everyone else. A hammer that's coming from the same tree. Now, this is the energy of, it's kind of not, do you know when they say don't cut off your nose to spite your face, Gerard? I don't know if you have that saying, but it's like, don't do things out of stubbornness. You know what I mean? Don't let your stubbornness cost you something, if that makes sense, Gerard. So it's like, you may have an issue with someone, or you may have an issue about something, but it's like, it's in your best interest to hold the axe, if you know what I mean. Don't cut something off just because it didn't go the way you wanted to go, or because you feel that someone doesn't kind of get where you're coming from. A little bit of patience there, a little bit of holding off, if that makes sense, Gerard. And we have the Four of Pentacles. So the image here, Gerard, is of a redhead young man, and he's holding four large round discs, pentacle discs. His eyes are closed and he's holding them tightly and hunched over them. So the energy of this card is not trusting yourself fully, not trusting that you have the creative power to bring in whatever you want. So you're hoarding, you're clutching to what you have. If that makes sense, Gerard. You're holding dear, like on for dear life, to what you have, because you're afraid if you let it go out, you're not going to be able to bring it back in. But the thing about it, and it's interesting, his eyes are closed. The thing about it is the energy that you generate, the energy that comes from you, will always bring you abundance, will always bring you money, will always bring you the things that you want, Gerard. Okay, you just have to be, you have to kind of surrender and let go. And we have Three of Pentacles. So the image on this card is like three stars in a circular shape, and there's three hands reaching down towards the stars, and there's a blue background. So this gives me very much like, yeah, throwing your hand up in the air, Gerard, you know, that kind of like, let's do it, cheerleader kind of vibes. So there's definitely people that want to work with you, Gerard, that want to help you, that want to, you know, collaborate with you. So again, like, let go of clutching and let other people come in. Maybe they want to add something to your work. Be open anyway. Be curious. Okay, darling? Hope that made sense. I had to learn good boundaries because I also do healing work, and it was hard, but now I do it with that steel and the energy of love, and it's very healing for both involved. Great guidance. Yeah, exactly. You have to have that energy of firmness. It has to be a thing, because people when they're in pain, people when they're needy, sorry, I keep licking my lips, I have a little cut there or blister there. People when they're needy, I'll write you down there, Julie. People when they're needy, and I've been there. You know, when you're in that desperate state and you think this person has all the answers for you, you know, they'll be like, oh my God, like they put you on a pedestal, which is the worst thing you can do with any healer. But a good healer will remind you that they're just reflecting back you to you. You know what I mean? It's just, there's nothing special in that way. We're all healers. Just some of us decide to be more front and center with it, you know? Oh, that's great, Gerard. I'm glad it made sense, darling. Okay, Julie, so we have Three of Swords. So this is the energy, it's kind of a graphic image now, so be prepared. This is the energy of grief. It's, you've been kind of broken open either by a person's betrayal or a person's passing. It's like this feeling of your heart's being ripped out of your chest. Now, the thing about that kind of energy, being broken open in that way, you never go back the same way, and that's good. What happens, what comes through these things that happen in life when we lose people, you know, either because they leave us or because they pass away or whatever, what's left behind is us re-navigating who we are without them. Who am I without this person? And that's a very good exercise. It's painful and it can be raw, but it's very, very good. Because oftentimes we become different people with different people. And when we put a lot of investment into a person, energetically, emotionally, when that person is gone, we can feel like odorless. You know, it's like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do, where to go. My life feels so different now. But in that difference comes this energy of renewal. This energy of, okay, I can feel that I'm wiser now. I can feel I'm more compassionate now because of this. You know, so there's something there for you to learn, Julie, beyond the pain of it, if that makes sense. And the moon. So again, the moon is all about the subconscious. What are you pushing down? What are you afraid of bubbling to the surface, Julie? What are you afraid is going to overwhelm you? That's that energy. It's like, oh my God, I can't let this up because it's going to choke me or whatever. It won't. It won't. But shoving it down means that it's going to have to slip out in different ways. And when you shove grief down like that, it can spurt out as sadness, as irritation, as withdrawal. But when you actually connect in and really feel it, let it be there, and then kind of figure out where you are with it, then it can be very, very powerful, powerful energy. And the Fool. So you're being asked to trust. Trust that beautiful things are ahead of you. Have that energy of a child, like, okay, this was hard, but now I believe in good things. I believe that beautiful things are ahead of me. I believe that love is what moves me. Love is what I am at my core. So only love awaits me. And you have this, you know, energy then of trust coming through. And that's what Spirit are saying to you. Trust, Julie. It was hard, but we're holding your hand now and we're bringing you forward. And take that leap of faith. And this is the energy of moving into something new. Moving forward into something new. But not looking back then. You know, it's like in the Bible when Lot's wife turned back when she wasn't supposed to and she got turned into a pillar of salt. These are just metaphors. Don't look back. There's nothing there for you, okay? Today I'm meeting with the state rep. Oh my God, can we serve you in order to serve the community better? What a drag. Jules. Alright, I'm going to do one more after Jules and then I am done. Okay. Jewel. So we have 10 of Swords. This card makes me laugh because there's another version that says everything's fine on it. So again, we have that the betrayal, you know, and this is seems to be strong here today. But that betrayal energy, that feeling of, I don't give a shit what you do anymore, but you really do. You really do. You're deeply hurt or deeply wounded or holding a deep pain, but you're on your phone, you're pretending everything is okay, if that makes sense. There's a certain point where acting as if nothing's happening can be helpful to you in a sort of a survival mechanism. But then it becomes a case where, again, if it's suppressed or repressed, it has to bubble up. It has to, you'll react to triggers, somebody will say something, and there will be a disproportionate kind of energy come out in you know, in relation to what's happening. It will seem much bigger. And that's because you're shoving stuff down. So when something bubbles up like that and we distract, we go and eat something, we go on our phone, we distract. Oftentimes it's much more helpful to just sit there and say, okay, there's sadness here, there's grief here, and just kind of let it hang out for a while. Don't make a story about it and see how it moves. Get curious about how it moves. Don't be afraid at all, Julie. Don't be afraid. There's beautiful, beautiful things ahead of you. Just take that leap of faith, my love, okay? Trust yourself. Page of Cups. So, Jules, there is that energy of love as well coming towards you. Love being presented to you. Having to see some mother wounds yesterday, but now glad to get it through. So, thank you, Julie. So there's that energy of love. Someone is offering love to you. It might be offering you comfort, telling you they see you. You don't have to be different with me. You don't have to hide with me. If there's someone in your life that is doing that for you, honor them. And honor them by sharing what you're going through, And don't be defending yourself all the time. There's no need. You can drop those defenses. You can drop that thing of, I need to be this person for everybody. You actually don't. You can let that go, okay? IFA. So IFA, you're my last but not least. IFA, King of Cups. Oh, this is such a cute card. So the energy of this card is like love. I'm listening. I see you, I hear you, okay? So if there's that type of person around you, my love, maybe you need a friend right now. Maybe you're the one who's going to be that friend for someone else. Maybe a male in your life needs the cup of tea and sympathy. If it's you and someone is offering it to you, just like what I just said, don't brush it off. If someone is looking at you and saying, "Eve, are you okay? I noticed you're not your whatever." Instead of giving that sort of, "Yeah, I'm great," or "I'm fine," and brushing it off, have the courage to kind of say, "Actually, I'm struggling a bit today," or "I feel a bit off today, I feel a bit sad today," whatever. You don't have to go into the story of it, but you're being vulnerable in that moment. And you're validating what that person is feeling from you, which is very important. It's actually quite rejecting feeling when you say to someone, "Are you okay?" Because you're sensing something is not right with them, and they go, "Yeah, I'm grand, why?" They kind of brush you off. It makes you doubt your instincts. So you're actually validating that person by saying, "Yeah, I'm just a bit sad today, but I'll be okay." You're allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and you're also validating that person's instincts. So see where you can either be the person who gives the tea and sympathy or accept it from someone else. And temperance, so balance is in reverse there. So what's out of balance? What's out of balance, Aoife? Where do you feel? It's probably a bit of me feeling that way and someone else feeling that way. Yeah, so where is there no balance there? Where is it that you're both kind of maybe pretending or not really being honest with each other or being open with one another? My Facebook name is just Marlene Cronin, love. Instagram is the Spirits here. But look at where you can kind of maybe be brave and be the one that addresses what's happening. You know, you can maybe make the tea and kind of go, look, this is what I'm sensing. I might be wrong, but, and you kind of open the conversation if you want to, okay? And again in reverse, Six of Pentacles. This card is a bit gross. But this is like, you know, this is in reverse. So again, that giving, that balance, give and take, it's out of balance. If this is a relationship that's important to you, then this is something where you need to kind of take control of it and say, okay, this is out of whack. You know, this is out of whack. We need to bring balance back to this. And you'll feel better as well. And again in reverse, Six of Cups. So this is looking back. This is the energy of the past. This is the rose-tinted spectacles. And, you know, with it being in reverse, it might be a case where you're looking at the past quite harshly. It might be that you're looking at your relationship with this person in a very negative light. It might be that you're holding on to stories about them that are not true anymore. It might be that, you know, they're holding on to stories about you that are long gone. You've outgrown them. So what I would suggest there is to take a look at, first of all, if you want to heal this thing between the two of you, and if so, take those steps. If it's not a relationship that is actually very important to you, at least look at where you do this, where you push people away, you don't let them in, you don't share your vulnerabilities. It doesn't have to be a big heavy thing. Somebody saying, "How are you, girl?" You know, you're not gonna go, "I'm actually feel like shit." But if somebody says, "You're all right," and you have the courage to kind of go, "I'm a bit off today," that's very healing for both. Do you know what I mean, Aoife? It may be that you just need to let your guard down a little and let people see that vulnerable side of you. All right? Okay, I'm going to fly. Delighted to be on here with all of you, sharing that lovely energy. Just the over kind of arching messages for all of us. Heart healing, mother healing, being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to be seen. Focus on what it is you actually want, and know that better things are ahead. All right? Love you all. Yeah. The only way to break down that wall, my darling, is to actually be vulnerable, is to actually say, yeah, I'm a bit off. Or, do you know what? I actually feel great today. How are you doing? Be real about it. You know, it's not just these platitudes that we throw to people, but when someone is actually looking at you going, you're all right, you know, that you share, you let them see who you are. All right, sweetheart? Okay, I'm going to fly. Bye, everyone.